Hello, friends. Welcome to today's episode of Gregor's broadcast series, Decoded by Dr. Rajashri. And as I always say, through this series, it's my very sincere attempt to engage with the stalwarts of the healthcare industry, leaders who have truly written or dictated the codes for the commercial excellence. And commercial excellence in a very dynamic, a very demanding business environment, and that's what really makes this podcast very, very interesting. In our earlier episodes, you would have heard us or get a perspective about from a business leader. We have got a perspective about commercial excellence from a commercial excellence leader. Today's topic, we are going to really dwell on a topic very dear to me. How do we really bridge the two main engines of pharma, that is business leadership and commercial excellence? And who could be a better person to talk about this? And I'm going to welcome Mr. Thamburaj. Very odd to say Mr. Thamburaj, so I'm going to take the liberty of calling you Thambu, which I'm very comfortable with.
That's better.
Over there. Senior Vice President, Business Unit Head, leading both sales and marketing, leading the overall functions of SAP, Business Intelligence, L&D. Wow. A person who, for me, is the one who wears both the hats of being a business leader and wearing the hat of even commercial excellence. So he's the best person to really tell us about how can we bridge this gap between business leadership and excellence. But let me tell you all, that is not the only two hats which he wears. So he is a USV adjunct professor for sustainability and ethics. I would really like to know more about it over there. A PhD scholar, a researcher, and a peer reviewer. And as if this was not enough for him to achieve on the academic side, he is a athlete. He is a fabulous artist and a K2K cyclist, something which I had to actually go to the ChatGPT and say, what is this K2K cyclist? And that very fact that it says that, oh, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari really set me. So my New Year resolution also changed because of that. I said, at least let me ride a bicycle, if not from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, but that is the multiple hats which we face. So over to you and very, very warm welcome for this podcast, Nambu. So I'm so sure, undoubtedly, this podcast is going to be fun if I have to really sum it up. Fun because I have interacted with Thambu multiple times and I'm sure he's going to candidly express his feelings, his thoughts, his experiences of wearing both his hats and simultaneously, not one after the other, simultaneously being a business leader as well as a commercial excellence leader. And that's exactly what is the idea behind this podcast. So, without much ado, let me come directly to the questions. Over there. Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Let's make it candid.
Yeah, it is. And I'm very confident that that is how it is going to be the case. So, Thandu, while you are sitting on both the chairs, here on the chair of business leader as well as in terms of the commercial excellence. And let me tell you, I also envy this position because I'm sure no one can point fingers at you and say, hey, who are you to tell me what is to be done? Come to the field and make it happen. No one can say that to you. That is typically what every commercial excellence team member goes through. So I really envy that position over there. But candidly, if I have to really say that, after walking on this tight rope of commercial excellence and business leadership, has your views really changed in terms of what is the real growth levers in the industry?
Absolutely. So I don't think many people wear both the hats and run on both the rails. When it was given to me, even I was a bit hesitant, but then I realized that it has got a lot of advantages. Because like sitting in business side, you have always given gali to commercial excellence, and then commercial excellence gives no, I cannot do all these things kind of stories. We could build the cat, and we could bridge is to bridge the gap very clearly. Growth lever, of course, the new definitions of the market having sailed in both the boats is that it's people. It's how are you going to help the people be better, effective, as well as efficient. That is going to be the new growth lever. Then if you are able to do that part well, of course, all the other outcomes in KPI will fall in place. And how your commercial excellence can be a trigger to make that happen. That is what the new formula we cracked. It's working. You can ask more about it.
Yeah, I would really like to, very tempted to ask you a question in saying, what was before impression and what is after impression when you started wearing both the hats? What was it before?
Yeah, so the business side of the problem about commercial excellence was uh, they always run behind numbers, they are fault finders, the dashboards don't work, the data is not correct, so that is a kind of a worry. We never understand, there is no empathy towards what they were trying to do, what they were attempting to do. So it's like this because nobody wanted to be, pointed finger on anybody's gaps, especially because like commercial excellence is all about pointing out gaps and areas of improvements. Nobody likes that in this world. So probably as business leaders, we never liked it. And from sitting in the commercial excellence side, then what we realize, what the you know, um, why don't they kind of listen to us? The options are very less, and then then we realized that the whole system was running behind quantity, not quality. So then we were able to kind of make people realize it's not about quantity, it's all about quality which you should be chasing, the quality which business wants. And then when there is a kind of a synergy between both these departments, some kind of common agenda being addressed, then probably both the parties bought each other's points and then started working together. Started working together, it is the starting point.
Oh,
Yeah, it was tough, but we made it happen.
so if I have to really pinpoint, what would be those critical moments, key moments where you really felt that, the collaboration between these two brilliantly worked, and where did it really fall flat?
So when commercial excellence make a lot of efforts and we make good solutions, especially say take a simple example of a dashboard. What happened? You take a lot of time, probably do a lot of interviews, understand their problems, and then crack a solution, connect all the data points, and you are sold to your own dashboard, and you think what you are given is the best. This is the commercial excellence window, and by the time it reaches it hits the market. By the time people start adapting it, it's too late. It's almost 6 months and 1 year is gone in transit. By the time the problem is identified, the solution is arrived at, a database dashboard has been created, and it reaches so very late, it is already redundant. We were also excited about dashboards changing the lives of the people, and it is the ultimate solution. Then we realized it should be a moving piece. It should be probably a helping tool to the people rather than a static a museum piece sitting in there. And I'm very reluctant to change it. So when the business says that no, it doesn't work. This is not what I want. What I want is different. For example, a performer sees your dashboard differently. A non-performer sees it totally differently. But your dashboard has always been static. And you were very, very reluctant and redundant or very rigid in saying that no, this is how it is. You have to adapt it. Um, yeah, so that's what it is. The solution now, all of us have realized that you have to probably customize it, personalize it, probably make it real time. Don't keep it rigid. So that's what is the middle path. Um, Trying to reach there, but at least the realization is there that one size doesn't fit all, and then one dashboard doesn't solve everybody's problem. There will be death of dashboard. I mean, death by dashboard. We say that you have to keep creating, keep inventing, keep innovating, and then, but of course, listen to the business team based on their needs. If you keep improving, I'm sure it's going to work, and it is moving piece, as I said.
Yeah, in our experience, now that we do a lot of work with companies, especially we are almost like an analytical outsourcing partners for them. Uh, Majority of the times, because you have been repeating the word dashboard, we have to do a lot of convincing act to bring down that KPI system, which is ranging to 23 and 25 screens, to actually 5 screens. Because one of the things which commercial excellence team normally feels is that more is better, while and because each one of them have a different requirement, it can move even to an extent that someone wants to see it in rows and the other one wants to see it in columns, and that is also something which is looked up over there. So when you're dealing with something like this over there, how do you really tackle this problem?
So you can't blame them. So what happened? It grew organically, the commercial excellence thing. Initially, we never had data. Suddenly, data started flowing in, and then we got overwhelmed. And then we wanted to throw out everything back to the business. People in business are busy. They don't have time to go through all your rows and columns and multiple sheets and multiple tabs and to find out problem within. And then it requires a capability. It's a different capability by itself. um, People want quick solutions today. So therefore, that's what I've been telling. Um, you don't need to dump everything, whatever you got, because we are taking an example of a dashboard in the form of a dashboard. It's not an Excel sheet in fancy looking Excel sheet in your computer. So therefore, probably um, there are some companies who are able to crack it. If I'm a manager for this particular headquarter, I'm going and working. What is the probable gaps in this particular headquarter? If machine is able to kind of pinpoint and show the data gaps, um, some companies have gone ahead of it. So now we're talking about retrospective problem. Okay, this is what has happened in the past. That is the reason why probably the performance isn't there. And now some people are at least thinking about predicting the future. It's not a theory, it is happening. If as a manager, based on the data points, if I have in front of me, I'm able to predict a future weakness, then probably I'm adding value. Otherwise, the same database dashboard, same access is there for everybody in the organization. They can find problem, they can read themselves, they can act on it by themselves. But as a manager, I'm coming in, I'm able to kind of pick up 1, 2, 3 points wherein it is showing some kind of weakness which will lead to probably the future weakness. Then I'm guiding my team. Then actually I'm taking my team along. I'm adding value to the system. The span of controls are going to increase in the coming days. So maybe this is the way forward. So I don't need to kind of churn the whole thing, then be to the point, identify the gap and address it, or predict the gap and address it. So basically, the data analysts, you all can help in this predicting the future. Maybe predicting.
So, Thambu, I'm now going to request you to just wear the business leader's hat, and as expected from you, what would you really expect from the commercial excellence teams, which you normally don't say it out, or were not saying it out. So, just wearing that particular hat, and if I have to ask you, what are your pain points when dealing with the commercial excellence team? Or function. I'm not even saying, I'm not bringing out the angle of a people over there or person. I'm talking about a function. So, what are those pain points when you deal with them?
Listen to the business first, understand their problems, and bring out solutions from their perspective instead of offering what you got and then don't try to push what you got. So and don't be being very very static. Be open. I always ask my commercial excellence team to go and work in the field. If you work in the field along with the field colleague, you will understand their problem. You will understand the real world issues one have. Go and attend the review meetings. You know, the solutions what you make may or may not be relevant in a real life, review meeting system. How many of us do that? How many of us make our commercial excellence to go and be a part of a review meeting? It's a different, you know, place of fire. People firefight so many other problems, and many a times we don't have any solution. And we are just like scratching the surface. The core problem lies different, in a different place. So probably if you attend that real life review meeting, instead of just doing only interviews, instead of asking business what do you want, go and live the life of a business, then probably you'll understand. So there is a request to all the commercial excellence guys. Um, Go out there, find out the problem by yourself, be a fly on the wall, do observations, then you'll be able to crack a solution which is people friendly. Otherwise, I'm not going to accept what you give.
Sure. I think it takes back to when we started off our careers also. If you had to be in the marketing function, you had to do at least a stint of 1 year or 2 years in the sales. Otherwise, you were not taken into the marketing side of it. Somewhere it draws a corollary in saying that probably for a commercial excellence team also, if something of that sort is coming up, is that what you're pointing over? That they should be really having that stint? Or you're just saying that you just be along with them and learn what is the game all about?
Yeah, maybe that worked. Your 1 year stint in the sales worked for that time. It may not be needed now. 1 year is too much of a time now. Youngsters are very smart. Um, 1 year is like literally a big time. So yeah, so you identify that five different inflection points wherein you have to be there yourself to experience it. As I mentioned to you, make yourself available when the strategy is being discussed in the beginning of the year. Point number one. Make yourself available when quarterly meetings happen, the review meetings happen, when you are probably kind of discussing weaknesses and celebrating successes. Make yourself available when a typical review meeting happens on a monthly basis or a weekly basis. And the fourth point is that go and be with the people when they are meeting their customers. It will give you different ideas, wherein your department can probably contribute in terms of improving the efficiency. Effectiveness is already there, quantity is already there, that is a minimum benchmark. How do you kind of bring in quality at different touch points depending upon stakeholder need for to understand that you gotta be available in these places. The typical old style, being in 1 year in the field may not be solving the purpose, or having multiple, people being interviewed and collecting their feedback also won't give you the full picture, because they are not as creative as you when they are giving the feedback to you. Right. They don't know what you can offer also. So they will kind of within their capability, they will tell you this is what everybody jumps to the solution. But when we are interviewing, we don't never ask about solution. Then everybody's interview suddenly goes into solution mode. The moment you go into the solution mode, you won't be able to crack it. So therefore, whenever we are interacting, park the solution side, just dwell more into the problem, go deeper into the problem, understand the problem, talk to the heads. Probably they will have better probable solution, and then crack a solution. That solution will work. Probably that is the new age way. So, because when you're wearing this business leadership hat, typically when it comes up to commercial excellence team, and which you also repeatedly use the word dashboard, it becomes like, commercial excellence team is supposed to create dashboards, and probably that has been triggered because technology in terms of business intelligence has gone much faster as compared to the other technologies. So that has become as commercial excellence main job. What do you, as a business leader, what do you really think is the main job or the function of commercial excellence? Okay, see, there's nothing wrong in dashboard. See, there is an interface. What connects you, these two departments? I mean, there is what is the common thing? When do these two departments talk to each other? Through the systems, to the platforms, to the processes which are designed in digital manner, right? So therefore, eventually the play the time in which the business find the existence of commercial excellence department is through these kind of decision making tools only. One of them is dashboard. In fact, like there's always input or output, and this department fetches sucks in a lot of data and throws out a lot of uh, insights and outputs. So therefore, dashboard becomes an inevitable part of an interaction. So there's nothing wrong. But as you said, that is just an interface of outcome, but there is a lot of things which works behind. Data collection, data cleaning, data integration, and use of the technology, AI, ML, everything else. coming. People don't see that, right? That's just the backside of the engine, and they see what comes out as an output. To keep it simple, let the dashboard be the output of commercial excellence, and then of course different forms of it can be uh, coming out, but eventually it should help the business team to make better decisions.
Has this view really changed after you have worn the hat of commercial excellence, or was this something which was a view even before?
Of course, my view changed. When I took over commercial excellence, I kind of dumped half of the dashboards, and then like, sorry, not going to work. And of course, a lot of redundant data collection was going on. Um, Old style working, not required anymore. Those things, and duplications of the world, and then data not talking to each other. Systems are rigid and going in siloed manner. A lot of problems were there, but we were able to kind of. I mean, it's an ongoing, constant fight.
So now I'm going to flip it. Now I'm flipping the conversation. Now I want to wear the hat of the commercial excellence person. And when you are wearing this hat, um, what do you really expect from the business leadership? Who is sitting at the top? Who is making all the decisions? Because finally, the commercial excellence team is going to be just an enabling function. The decisions are being taken by the business teams. The decisions are being taken by the top management. So, where is the struggle for commercial excellence team?
Aspirations are very very high, and they believe that they can do a lot, but the hands are tied. Hands are tied in many companies, from technology front, experimentation front, pilot front, and coming out with problem front, coming out with solution front. And these are the things. So basically, to execute their ideas, they need technology. They need the new age guys. They need the guys with modern knowledge about data and science and AI and things like that. All said and done, having said that, like, we are living with lot of baggage, the previous old style thinking, etc. At the same time, other problem what commercial excellence guys face is that your business is still people led, and lot of the people are reluctant to change. And when we as a commercial excellence guys want to kind of make some change, the whole company opposes it. You know, um, everybody's reluctant to change, especially when the pace of change is very frequent. Then they become like they get irritated. Um, but you will have to pace up. I mean, you will have to kind of keep up with the race, and then you have to keep innovating things and make newer changes. That's the excitement which we all are working with. But the thing is that excitement, see, it's actually seen as a problem. So the business leader should probably partner in terms of accepting the change at their level first, and probably sell it down well, and then settle it well. Many people do that. Many people don't do that. If the leadership buys in, then probably it is sold well, and then the adoption is very good. If the leadership themselves they don't buy in, it goes half-heartedly, then it gets completely kind of. So the expectation from us that um, Mr. Business Leader, please give us some, just kind of have a better talk about getting us good technology, and then probably good budgets, and then we will give you a good solution, and also sit with us, understand what you want, and understand what we want, what we have made, and probably buy, and then sell it well down the line, and promote it well, and then therefore there will be a good buying.
You have really touched a very delicate spot. Uh, my biggest complaint when it comes up, and when we do a lot of projects with everyone, especially on the analytics, because we specialize in creating a sort of modular analytical solutions, taking up business problems, see to it that how it can be modeled, make it into do-it-yourself sort of SaaS modules and everything. The biggest thing which comes to our notice is that our stakeholders, the users, are the commercial excellence teams, but they don't have the budgets. The budget sits with the business intelligence team, or rather business leadership teams. I'll not say business intelligence because that comes up in the commercial excellence. So it resides over there. and we have a tough time convincing them that how this is going to be the future, how this is going to really drive a long-term strategy and implementation side of it. Because a quick thing is, oh, if I have to put up this much budget in commercial excellence, I rather put it up with a doctor and say, Arey, I'll get at least prescriptions. With you, I don't get anything. So how do you really tackle this sort of problem? Why do commercial excellence team don't have their own budget?
Okay, so the main problem is that commercial excellent team is seen as a supportive team. Um, nobody believes in the company. They can also kind of contribute some amount of revenue. So example, the deficits which the non-performing headquarters
Hmm.
getting to any organization to an extent of say 10%. If commercial excellence pitches in and probably at least make some improvement in these weak headquarters through their interventions, probably that deficit, the 10% can be brought down to say 6%. It means like that 4% additional revenue probably can come from this weak headquarters just by the action of commercial excellence which you know I'm not talking about commercial excellence targeting all headquarters, but take this weak headquarter as a special project and then probably help them improve. So then probably this will make them as a kind of a revenue generating function, and then probably they will value it. For that, you need to prove. Probably, why not kind of do some pilots, prove your organization and business leaders that you can also kind of through your intervention bring change and bring some additional revenue, and they will probably see your revenue function give you the budgets.
So I was really why I wanted to really talk about one of the things which commercial excellence teams have always been branded as, that we come up with great models, great algorithms, great fancy terms using all the advances of AI, and which normally are put down by the business teams in saying this doesn't work because past doesn't support it, and it is the experience which really finally gets a predominance over what insights are being shown by the commercial excellence team. So how do you really tackle with these things?
That fight is always on. Pharma has always been in an experience driven, and people believe their experience about their field and their decisions will always work than the new age models. But it's changing. If you see the new managers, the the new age competency, what we are talking about, I'm not talking about the oldies in the system. The new boys coming into the domain, they should be coming with these new sets of competency of digital fluency, data-driven decision making, co-working with AI. Now, these are all new capabilities.
Right.
Not everyone has that. That's not your commercial excellences problem. This is an HR problem. Now, your HR department, if they in any organization, if they realize this and they ensure that the sales force, the business, they kind of acquire these skills, these competencies, then they will realize the value and power of data, and they will realize the value and power of commercial excellence. So instead of commercial excellence department taking this whole load on, take the help of HR and the business leaders, and then probably make some uh, big changes, reform in the organization. That will support.
Very interesting, because this was something which was resonated by even Vivek during his podcast when we were taking up the podcast. He actually came up with the idea and he told us in saying, why you people don't do master classes for the business teams, because most of the times, because the way the industry has really come up, it is much more sales driven where it has gone up to the top. So if you're able to even show to them what type of data and what type of insights can come up from the data, probably the business teams would have a very different perspective about commercial excellence. Do you really feel that is something the way to go, or you people are already doing it? I really don't know the other side.
Oh, this is excellent. Vivek is a good friend, I'm sure, and such a good idea. It happens. So it happens in other domain and other functions. For example, If I'm in marketing, to sharpen my marketing skills, I go and attend my MDPs and IIMs of the world, and a lot of such avenues
Right,
are there.
right.
If I'm in, say, even in L&D, we have a lot of courses available. I'm heading L&D. In fact, like if I have to kind of upskill my own L&D guys, I mean, we have workshops, we have development programs, and we have courses for them to kind of move from point A to point B. But when it comes to commercial excellence, I don't think such kind of a collaborative workshop thingies are there, master classes are there. We all learn within the organization. There is no cross company connection of
Competition.
commercial excellence guys. Of course, good idea.
Good
Maybe we
idea.
should kind of pull out all the commercial excellence guys of all the companies and probably do a master class and move everybody from point A to point B and upskill them. That will probably upgrade the quality overall instead of individually everybody taking their own efforts.
In
I'm
fact, he
open.
had a different view. He had a additional perspective in saying, no, do this master class for the business teams. Do you really feel the business teams will welcome something which will be the case? Because finally, they are the ones who are going to be using the information. Because action is happening at that end. For the action to happen that end, has the industry really evolved to take it up, and the business leaders really taking up this, where they feel data is the key and not just a supporting fact to just what the decisions are made.
Yeah, so it is not the business's problem. Business will have their own people already in the system. As I hinted you, it is HR problem because HR to take care of the new age competencies, upskilling of the people. L&D should take care of this. Within the organization, it can happen. I'm sure growing an agile organization always have been
Going to
doing
do.
it, and they are doing it. And I'm not sure that it's happening all across. So
Right,
probably
right.
master classes are needed on skill or new age competencies for everybody. Business is large in number, so therefore probably we need massive programs to work.
In commercial, again, further going into the depth of again from a commercial excellence hat, Uh, were there some skill sets which you had to really learn afresh, or what are some of the things which are your expectations where now the new age commercial excellence team should be knowing? Because typically, commercial excellence teams have grown up as more from a data side, data provider side, providing data, whatever has been asked for. So the gradual progression has always done from that. But now with data assets really exploding, if I have to really use that word, do you see a requirement for change in the skill sets or something which is there for the commercial excellence?
Absolutely. Not only this department, the whole world is embracing this change. Change is AI because um, commercial excellence before AI zone and commercial excellence after AI zone, that's sea of change. So that is the new age skill. Somebody should, who's working in commercial excellence should learn to work with AI and its capabilities. They should learn to coexist. Consider AI as your co-pilot in your walks of your life. They'll make you relevant. Um, those people who are going to be kind of embracing the AI in their function are going to be remaining, and otherwise they're out. So it's like this. This is clearly a new age skill, and of course, solution mindset. Instead of just being data, oriented, find out what is the problem, and then how my AI and how my data are going to kind of give a solution to the problem, and how I'm going to be a part of a solution in whatever the form it is. So this is again a new skill one should need, and that requires a lot of thinking and training. It doesn't come by giving them more work. I think the leaders who are leading the businesses as well as commercial excellence should take this charge, give these two new skill sets in the form of programs to them, and then I'm sure it will happen.
I like the optimism. I like the optimism in saying that this is something which is required. Although I see a huge polarization based on, and I'm talking from experience part of it, while we do a lot of work, have worked across the spectrum, to be honest, worked with very large companies, even talk about the top 10 companies, worked with startups who have been just launched their ventures, worked with middle-sized companies, but I see a polarization when it comes up to the commercial excellence teams. In terms of the maturity levels from here, it is still at that MIS. They are called also as MIS teams. They are not really even graduated to be called as commercial excellence teams. So from this MIS journey to a commercial excellence journey, um, what is something which is required so that every organization actually goes there and recognizes the importance of it, because that could be probably the next growth driver.
That way, every department they scream for their importance. Maybe we are on more on data side. We think that commercial excellence is important. Every department has its own role to play in terms of improving the performance of the organization. What can be done? Of course, talks like this, and I'm sure it is going to kind of, you know, um, improve the sensitivity among the crowd. Maybe we should come out with some white papers, which will, and then you make that white, and you make everybody read that white paper. And as Vivek suggested, then good master classes can be done.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, we need to work hard. Otherwise, organically, if you are going to make commercial excellence department probably and their presence felt, it's going to take time. Yeah.
Sure.
But like with the AI coming in, everybody's in the pressure to deliver and then use AI. Which other department can make best use of AI is this department. Now I'm sure with this improved usage of AI itself will make this department more relevant in the coming days. It happened in my organization also. It was like it was static. It was nothing new. It wasn't there. It was there, but suddenly with this, use of newer modules, newer AI tools, ML, made this function really kind of useful, and then people started finding their contributions valuable. Now, I think this was the trigger. I'm sure coming days are going to be better.
But Thambu, while yeah, it's nice that AI, ML advances are really happening over there. But the real challenge also comes up that still when it comes up to the reviews, the fights are more in terms of my data versus your data. Still the reviews, most of the time is spent in really proving each other right. Even coming to a single source of truth is a challenge in majority of the companies. While at one spectrum we are talking about this, and the other side of it we are really talking about AI ML. Do you really see in the next 3 to 5 years the industry really transforming?
As you said, the fight is real and it continues. Both the parties challenge each other's data point. Um, that's because people still sail in their old style of working and they believe in their old style of decision making tools, and lack of real time. What happened by the time your data and it's analyzed and it reaches the team, it is old. People have access to a newer data. Unless otherwise you are able to bridge this gap of time lag and real time thingy, it's not going to happen. So the fight will continue. The only way you can bridge this gap is only by automating it, by making the machine learning it and then adding a layer of AI to it. Human cannot do that. Your static solutions, static algorithms, static frameworks are not going to be efficient enough. So we don't need to wait for 3 years. It is going to transform tremendously. Trust me.
Okay.
This layer will kind of accelerate this engine and bridge these current gaps, what you are talking about. Then people will find your solutions useful. Then the gap will be reduced. The fight will reduce. Probably business leaders should find too.
So I think somewhere that collaboration when we are talking about, because you wore the business hat, you really have been dealing with the commercial excellence team. Somewhere what the topic has also been like, collaboration. It is finally collaborations, how you really make the both the engines fire. It is that. So for this collaboration, if I have to very objectively ask to work, what would be those critical points that it should work?
So right from these, beginning of the year, you will have to start coexisting. You have to attend your meeting, you will have to attend their meeting. That itself people see that top doing it, and then that collaboration comes down too. Otherwise, it will function in two different directions. Uh, Many a times, these two department heads, they don't sit, or they don't kind of sit together and make discussion. I don't think so. In my case, it has to happen because I'm a common
Common
boss.
boss.
I make them sit and make them listen to each other. Therefore, the collaborations are increasing, the frictions are coming down. But when you have a separate two department functioning with two different leads, then probably you need to create opportunities for them to do that. Somebody who is common probably should ensure that. I'm sure there is a common person in every organization, not heading each
Same function.
same function, but of course there is somebody who's heading the business. Um, Training programs in which wherein you are kind of attending together. I'm coming to the solution part of it, but of course. And then the frequent interviews we're talking about, and then you hitting the field along with them, and then talking their language and having empathy and being inclusive in to their needs. The moment they kind of feel that you are listening to them and you are kind of being adapt to their needs. The moment if that feeling comes, and then will start probably improving the collaboration. If you are being rigid, then probably that collaboration not going to come parallel. So you will have to work hard. They are always big. They are running the company. They bring the business.
So you
They are
finally
always
are wearing the business leader's hat. So now
they
again
are
it is
right.
lopsided. So where it is coming up and
I
saying
see
that
no harm. I see no harm in commercial excellence, making efforts to get closer to business, and then talking their language. We always miss that point. We talk very difficult, tough language of data. We kind of take the control in our hand, and then nobody likes that. Okay, so it's a very thin line one should kind of understand, and then probably go down to the level. It's not going down, it is just going down to the level of to their level, because they are busy, they have other things to do in life. And then if you make them feel that you're part of a solution, and then you talk their language, they are going to excel. It is happening in front of me. When my team, my new commercial excellence team, now they're talking my field people language when they're talking to them. There's a good conversation happening, no more fight. So I'm sure it will happen.
sure. I look forward that it happens because I think my my skew is towards the commercial excellence. I can clearly see your skew towards the business leadership. I think in this podcast itself we are having a sort of a complementing sort of a thing. So just to wrap it up, if I have to say and put it up more into an actionable point, what would be your practical advice for commercial excellence team?
Uh, have solution centric mindset. Yeah, work with business and work for business and work in collaboration and in tandem, and don't sold to your own ideas. Don't be rigid, be fluid, and then adopt technology. Ensure that your department is a moving piece, and then it keeps innovating and keeps giving you real life solutions. Yeah. And aim towards giving a real life solution. And that's what it is going to happen. If you are able to do that, then probably you are going to be accepted within the organization and then through the business, who's one of the very important stakeholder. And of course, there you will get good budgets too to run your big projects.
Sure. So I'm sure in this podcast, all my commercial excellence friends, me included, so over there have got the answers for what should be the future for them. And as expected, we had the straight talk which was expected from Thambu. So no words minced, clear a direction for each one of us. And that was the objective of the podcast. So I'm really thankful to Thambu for accepting this invitation and giving your thoughts to it. With this, I sign off.